this video we're going to be looking at the cosine rule again. However, this time we're going to be focusing on finding missing angles inside a non-right angled triangle rather than the sides. So just to recap, the first thing we make sure we can do is label the triangle correctly. So if we label all of these sides A, B and C using capital letters, then the opposite sides will correspond A, B and C. Now the cosine rule, as we know it, looks like this, where the subject of it is actually little a lowercase a, so this is designed to find a missing side. Very quickly we're going to have a look at rearranging this formula to give me the actual angle. So the very first step I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2bc cos a to both sides. This is going to give me a squared plus 2bc cos a equals b squared plus c squared. Now I'm going to remove this a squared by subtracting it from both sides to give me 2bc cos a equals b squared plus c squared minus the a squared. My final step with this one is to divide through by 2bc, giving me cosine of the angle is equal to b squared plus c squared minus a squared, all divided by 2bc. And it's this version of the formula that we're actually going to be interested in using in this video. So let's take a look at an example. So here is our version of the formula again. It's set up to find an angle because it's talking about cosine of a capital letter which corresponds to an angle. So the first thing we're going to need to do is label the triangle to make everything match. So here they've told me that I need to find x. I'm going to call this capital A so that it fits neatly with my formula. This then means that this 12 centimeter side is side A, and let's call this B and C. So to work out the missing angle then, I'm going to do B squared, so in this case that's 7 squared plus 10 squared minus 12 squared, and that's going to be all divided by 2 times B times C. Now when I tidy everything up, I'm going to get 149 take away 144, which is 5, and that's going to be divided by 140. Now the key thing to note in this is that when I type this into my calculator, I'm not going to get that missing angle. What I will get is the cosine of that missing angle. So much like your standard trigonometry, we're going to need to undo that cosine to actually get the value. Let's work this out first though. 5 divided by 140 will give me 0.0357 and then a few things after it. When I do the inverse cosine of this, this gives me the true value of the angle, which in this case is 88 degrees. Here are 2 examples to have a go at yourself. Remember, use the correct version of the formula that's set up to find missing angles. Label your triangles carefully. Pause the video here to have a go at these 2 examples yourself. When you're ready to see some answers, hit play and I'll talk you through them. Okay, let's have a look at this then. So with this first triangle, obviously I've got side A and angle A set up like this, and then B and C in that order. Now when I type all this into the formula, this is going to tell me that cos A is equal to 12 squared plus 14 squared minus 13 squared divided by 2 times 12 times 14. This means that the cosine of the angle is 171 over 336, which is 0.508, and then again that number repeats. I'm going to do inverse cos of this to find out that the actual angle, which I've called A, is 59.4 degrees. In the second example, again I'm going to label everything up. So I've got angle A opposite side A, and then let's call this B and C. This tells me then that the cosine of my missing angle A is equal to 6 squared plus 5.5 squared minus 9.1 squared divided by 2 times 6 times 5.5. this whole line will tidy up to, and be careful here, this is negative 16.56 divided by 66. And again, just be careful, this is not the angle itself, this is the cosine of the angle. This will give me negative 0.25 and some other things beyond that. When I do the inverse cosine of that, it's going to give me a value for my missing angle of 104.5 degrees. Well done if you got both of those correct. Thanks for listening.